gonna be early.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. On my budget, if you notice, my travel went down like $2,600. And that's because, just have one conference to go to this next, fiscal year, and that's to, Corpus, which is gonna be in October.
All right.
And that's for, the Texas Indigent, Healthcare Association, and I really want to go to that because I didn't go last year, and I really want to go to this one. I know it's a long ways, but it's going to be a good conference.
Well, I
that-
see your office supplies went down. So
Pardon?
your office supplies, you're
My
asking for a
office
little less.
supplies, I watched that very carefully. Very seldom we have to get anything,
All right.
especially with the scanner now. We're gonna be saving a lot in office supplies,
Okay.
like in paper.
And your postage went down, you gotta be
It's
careful.
very down,
You
yeah,
gotta be careful with that because postage went up.
Yeah.
So- But you're comfortable with
yeah,
that, all right?
right.
Your equipment maintenance stayed the same?
Yes, that
Software's
stayed the same.
All right.
And, that's all.
Very good.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
questions for Ms. Dean?
Yeah, any questions?
You made it easy on us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we'll have, our extension office on the way and hopefully elections, since we got finished a little early. If y'all wanna find your extension office page. I noticed that, the travel was up and the only thing different I know was that, we got a new 4-H person in there. Maybe she's brand new, so maybe she'll need some training or what have you.
Only up to 5,000
Pretty big
this
job.
year.
Travel went up almost 16,000. I see she didn't put that in there where they wanted the kitchen closed off from those tables. They said they didn't need it.
Okay.
I don't know. They asked me, got up and put it in the budget.
Yeah.
Yes, I asked them.
Oh, good. Very good. Thank you. So y'all can switch to the district judge if you'd like, because I'll bet he'll be here before all the rest. gonna be really tight. Commissioner Ebarb and I have to go to a meeting at 1:30. We start at 1, so it's gonna have to be pretty quick.
Got to be there too.
You gotta be there too.
So, across the street.
Yep. You ready? That'd be great, yeah, that'd be great if you can.
I can see these small numbers here. As far as mileage reimbursement, I kept it the same as last year. Office supplies, I actually went down $500 because we haven't used as much as I had anticipated, just trying to save some money there. Postage, I kept it the same because, as you have said, postage went up, and who knows, it'll probably be going up again. Travel expense, I kept my same as last year, no change there. Bond is reduced because I shouldn't have any bonds. Charlene worked to get those done as we, on our election year and for our employees the same year as well. So I shouldn't have any bond money coming out, so that's a savings of $3,561. Equipment, I did increase that to $1,000, and that is the content manager that we've spoke about before, and that Charlie spoke about, the scanning for the treasurer's office, which will help my office, help Sadie's office, possibly HR and auditor's office, for being a lot updated and save time in the scanning and research as well. I did increase that another $1,000, but I'm hoping if we see that this is, will be approved, that I still have the $1,000 in my equipment now, and I can use that for a scanner. Possibly too, if I move some money around, I might be able to get 2 of them on this budget year, and maybe only need 1,000 for the, I might be able to lower that, or not use but 1,000 of that for the following next year.
Sure, so you don't have scanners now for,
We do have scanners, but they're antiquated, I mean,
okay,
they're,
gotcha.
yes, it needs to be Twain compatible
Okay.
for the content manager.
Well, I would sure encourage you, if you're able to go ahead and get it out of this budget to do it.
Okay.
Very good.
And I hope to be able to do 2 by transferring some money around, and so I won't have to do it for next year.
Okay.
The only other thing I'm requesting, and I put on my cover sheet, is I'd like to see more than the $1,200 raise that we got in the past. That is much being appreciated. I'm not saying it's not appreciated, but with cost of living going up the way it is, that comes out to about $50 a paycheck. And by the time you take taxes and everything out, that's more like $30 a paycheck. I mean, I know the employees are appreciative of anything, but I feel like we need to get our employees up to, I think it'll help our morale, our retention of employees, and I think that the elected officials also deserve a raise, and the employees, and I would like to see, instead of maybe the 1,200, possibly up to like 6% if we can do that.
Very good. If
So-
is the key word.
I understand that. But I feel like that, the 1,200 is appreciated, but that comes out to like $30 a paycheck. And that's not keeping up with inflation or anything else,
Yep.
so.
Any questions for Ms. Rushing? Thank
That's
you
all I
very
have.
much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Judge Moran, you ready to go? Good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm sure I'm beating the dead horse, and I will keep mine. My budget, I don't think I've asked for a lot of changes. The only thing that I am asking for, I think that's, it's not different than anybody else has asked for, and I was just seeking a 5% increase from my staff. In addition to everything that you've heard, and I'm not going to go back through all of those things, I mean, Ms. Rushing's indicated, and I'm sure everybody else has talked to you about inflation. I'm not going to get into those things. There are things that are beyond your control and my control that have changed in my court. The legislature keeps adding requirements on my court, reports that have got to be filed, and the time that it's taking my staff is becoming overwhelming. Ms. Halsey takes her computer home every single night because we're dealing with attorneys, reports that have to be out. Primarily, it's cases that are involved. They contact her about something that's coming up the next morning or in the next couple of days. So she's emailing me, texting me through the evening, this has changed, this is what's going on. So she's working a lot more time than just what you see when she's in the office. The other thing, I've had several new cases that have been filed in my court that are time consuming. And I don't know if Ms. Griffiths has been here this morning or not with her request, but I have three cases in particular where she's got one clerk that, I mean, when this case is going on, that's all that this clerk does. And it's a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit, and it's just, I can't tell you how many boxes and files. Every hearing that we have is, you know, a foot and a half high of documents that they file in these, and so it's, I know she has staff that's having to work on that, very time consuming. They don't see the end of on my side where my staff is doing the same thing. They will spend a half a day, and that's the only case that they work on because there are 26 lawyers involved in one case. And so they are talking to everybody about what's going on through emails, you know, and then they call to confirm things. I mean, it's taking a lot of time. I know my employees appreciate any raise that you give them or increase. I'm specifically asking for a 5% for both of the ladies that work for me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what they do for me, and if I didn't have them, I wouldn't do my job. I think I'd have to retire if I didn't have them. There's not much else that I want to say. I just want to be here for them. So if there's not any questions, I don't want to waste any more of your time.
I appreciate you coming over and enlightening us. I don't think we probably were aware of what you're going through with a case of that size, but I appreciate you letting us know. I'm not even going to get into the amount of time, the reading that I have to do with them filing everything like that. I mean, hearings are just, and we do this, we have set aside every month. It originally started, we would have one hearing a month scheduled. Now we're doing one about it's actually more than every 2 weeks. It's probably 3 hearings a month. And like I said, when they file every hearing, they provide me all the exhibits that they're going to have. And these 26 lawyers can't agree that we had the hearing on Tuesday because I hate to say it, it's about the money, and they get money for being in my courtroom, and the 26 sitting there. Sure.
Yeah. So, but again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge. Mr. Robinette. Thank you for coming back over and being flexible with us.
Not a problem. It's part of our job. So, anyway, were you able to pass what I have on to the other commissioners and everyone? Or do you need a copy of the cover page?
Dustin, if you, it was scanned in there, is that right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I thought just in case I would bring that. All righty. Well, I'll put it like this. It doesn't hurt to ask. So that's part of why we're here, to inquire about things such as raises and so on. Probably the most important item would be number 2 on this agenda, was to create a chief deputy clerk and promote Sharon to that position, and would begin to equip her to do more things in the event of my absence or my demise, so that elections could go on. And so that's part of a ongoing plan there to hopefully do that. Now, I did include here several things that I called new, to also maintain a full-time deputy clerk. I put in there what I thought would be appropriate steps up as far as raises, if the court is agreeable to that. If not, we're grateful for whatever we can get. And for myself, I would be perfectly happy to remain as is if that is a problem on my own account. I would, on my own part, cut out the cell phone allowance, and that would save a very tiny bit. But back up at the top line there, I included a new item for another part-time person. Well, no, that's fourth and fifth line. Okay, we currently have Linda working as part-time permanent. But come January 1, the possibility of the next line making her a full-time employee. And that would be for 2024, heading into an election year that has 4 elections in it. And so obviously, if we were to do that, then that would entail further expense because the percentage that's paid on retirement would obviously increase, as well as Social Security, as well as if she were to decide to get on the group health insurance. So I tried to reflect those guesstimates in what I presented here. And then as an additional person, we always need extra help during elections. So from about the middle of February through the end of May to try to just hire a very part-time person, part-time temporary, and as far as I could tell looking at the step grade sheet, that is the lowest paid person on any grade or step that is available in the county there, what I included there. Typically, poll workers get $10 an hour. And so this would be a little bit more than a poll worker pay. It'd be a temporary location job that would be over come the end of May. And so a guesstimate on the overtime, longevity, Social Security, retirement, group health, and so on. Deducted some from the mileage allowance reimbursement there because we're still hoping to do more deliveries of voting equipment as well as picking it up. That hasn't gotten into full swing yet, but hopefully that will transpire more to relieve some of the burden on some of our poll workers who are getting more up in age and can't handle the equipment as much. Postage was based on 60 cents per stamp. Since then, it's gone up to the 63, so we probably need to multiply 3 times 46,000, 3 cents times that, and maybe up that a little bit. Election supplies and travel expense, I kept both of those down a little bit lower, deleting the bond and the cell phone. Election expense, I had figured as what I believe is a pretty reasonable amount of polling locations and poll workers for all the elections that this fiscal year would involve, with the intent of keeping clerks at $10 an hour, alternate judges, raise them to $11 an hour, and judges on election days to raise those folks to $12 an hour. That's pretty typical. Some counties pay a lot more than that. Now, when we come to a primary, though, which we will have a primary next March, the state does have an election funds process whereby the state will pay a portion of the primary expenses. And typically in the past, the state has agreed to pay every poll worker $12 an hour on election day only. And so that makes us have to do a lot of extra bookkeeping to get all that in there straight. But on primary election day only, it might be a good idea to raise the judges an extra $1, but just on primary election day. So that's something to be aware of. We do get some reimbursement. We do have to do a lot of paperwork to get all that taken care of. But something that we've kicked around at the office, a new item there would be if we were to try to have some kind of an appreciation banquet, dinner, awards, or something like that for the poll workers. And I was just guessing $12 a plate for 100 people if we were to pull that off, if the court were to approve that. Chapter 19 funds, this is what is currently available in the state system right now for us to use this coming year. So we have to pay for items first, and then we can be reimbursed up to that amount that's shown there. Equipment and maintenance, Probably need to up that one by about another $3,000. The quotes that I had gotten on the pole pads, I had hoped to be able to pay a lot of that out of this current year budget, but I had an unexpected encumbrance that came up, and so I'm just planning to lease those. And that lease, my original, I had them giving me so many bids that I put the wrong one in the packet that I sent over there. It will actually be about $141 per pad instead of the 99 that's listed, because I opted to go with the cellular pad, which will hold better connectivity as well as security. When you have to go outside with a pole pad and check a voter in at the curbside, sometimes it loses connection before it comes back in. And so that would solve that problem. Plus, it should be an easier process of turning on and off the services there. And so that's not reflected in what you see here. It'd be a little bit more money. If I had to, though, I could probably do a line item transfer from one of the other items. But anyway, the software support, that's pretty much an accurate figure on that. And then if we were to contract with deputy sheriff or other peace officers, I believe their going rate was about $35 an hour. I think that might be especially important if we were to have security at 13 polling places on election day, just on the primary day only would be my thought on that. We do typically, Sheriff Fletcher usually sends us an officer or rotates a few in or out for the early voting ballot board whenever they are meeting, because that's a requirement under the law now. But anyway, I believe what I presented to you is a fairly accurate representation of what we're probably going to be expecting in the coming year, and with the consideration of a few of those new items and possibly some raises in there, I respectfully submit that to you today.
You guys have any questions or comments for Mr. Robinette? Something I appreciate you doing is training up your chief deputy to be able to fill in for you. I think that's something
Yes.
that we often miss, is that depth and
Yeah.
having somebody ready to go.
Yeah, if I get killed in a car wreck this afternoon, there's nobody to finish an election. So,
So I appreciate you.
not even the support at the vendors would be able to come in and do without me. I'm in the process of creating a handbook or something there to, hey, you go here, you do this, you do that, and and so on and so forth. So somebody needs to be aware. Contingency plan, I think, is the word. Yeah.
The other thing I'd ask you to do down there on your software support is to get with Charlie in IT. IT's gonna handle most of our software costs and make sure that he's not already included your costs in there. So just visit with Charlie about.
Okay,
about
yeah,
your
I will do
software.
that. I visited with him last year and said, hey, instead of me having to go 3 extra steps here to get this paid for, why don't you just let me handle it? So I assume that's what he's still doing, but I will confer.
Y'all just work it out.
To be
We don't,
sure,
we don't
yeah.
wanna,
Yeah.
him to budget for it and you. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
All
So,
right.
all right.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you for working with us and trying to help us out there. We will do our best to spend the taxpayers' money wisely. I am too a taxpayer, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Robinette. How about our extension office? You guys ready?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good morning over here.
Well, I mean, good
We're on
morning.
Central Daylight
I'm
Time.
sorry.
We're still working off our appointed time,
Yes, we are.
but glad to be here.
Yes, we are.
You guys have your extension budget in front of you. Go ahead, Ms. Race here.
Okay. Well, this year, if you look at our budget request, we are asking for a significant amount. We're asking for an increase in the travel allowance line, well as travel expense, mainly because the price of gas has increased. We're also asking for an increase in office supplies, equipment, and maintenance. We do have an additional staff person, our program assistant, and things are going great with Ms. Jennifer here. She's been with us for about 3 months, and then we do ask for a raise for our support staff as well, if possible, because we know our workload will increase as well as the cost of living has increased.
I just had a question about your travel expense. It is a huge increase from 11 to 26,000.
That is true, and the only reason we're asking for so much money, just in the event that we do have more 4-Hers or get our 4-H program up and running, we may have an opportunity for the kids to go to, is it 4 major stock shows? And those are normally very expensive, and even the opportunity to go to Roundup, which is our state 4-H contest.
So these are not definitely going, this is maybe going.
No, yes, that's just definite, I mean, maybe going, we're praying that we'll have some, for example, this year we did not have any of our 4-Hers to go to state 4-H Roundup. However, I did go as a judge, but we're hoping next summer we may get a couple of kids who are able to go, and if so, then one of us, 2 of us, or maybe even 3 of us could go, but definitely one of us should go and support.
Commissioners, any other questions y'all have?
You had talked to us about, closing out the kitchen area. Is that part of this, equipment?
No, I did not include that
Okay.
in there. We did not buy all of our furniture for this year. I know last year we had budgeted for tables and chairs. We did not buy any of those this year. This year we just mainly focused on office furniture. So I think now we only have 2 pieces of office furniture to buy, and then this morning we had a crisis with a laptop. So I know for sure we'll need to purchase a laptop. And then,
Down the road?
we're buying a laptop? The kitchen part, maybe.
So it's
You
not-
know, it
it's
just
not
kind of
critical.
depends
not
on the,
critical.
on
That's
the,
what I'm
on,
saying. It's
oh,
not
no,
critical.
it's
Okay.
not critical, but if by chance, and this might be a Charlie or IT question, you know, maybe we could get a security camera or something, you know, that would be helpful, you know, maybe 2 cameras, one in the front, one in the back of the building, you know.
That's not added in here.
No, but if, I'm just saying, if there's money where we can squeeze that out, we could get that.
All right.
Mr. Garrett, did y'all get your big screen, flat screen thing solved out there? You know, you and I had that discussion and that was.
In the process, yes, sir.
So they received their first one, maintenance set it up and had it on the wall, turned it on, it was broken. They took it back down, they just picked out it yesterday, and it's on the schedule. It's sitting in my office for maintenance to put up the second one. It is in my office, we're just waiting on them to install it.
Okay.
So this is on our second TV.
Okay, great. Thank y'all.
Anything else?
Just thank y'all for the continued support.
You bet. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Another department wants to come speak? You guys ready? Good morning. Thank y'all for coming.
I'm with the Juvenile Center. I'm presenting in absence of Kelly Kirkland.
Yeah,
My
thank you
name
for
is-
being here.
Yes, sir. My name's Shatraven Ransom, and I'm the assistant director there. I've been with the facility for about 5 years, and there's been a number of deficiencies that we've experienced throughout the 5 years. So there are some line items that we have asked for increase in, such as our travel expense. We've increased that to $10,000 just for, to be able to get our JSOs and our JPOs trained and certified, get some continuing education going there. We're asking for a $200,000 budget for our repair and maintenance. We have APOD, which is another section of our detention that we are looking to get renovated so that we're able to house more juveniles. That's where our long-term program will be. Currently, the average rate for a juvenile detention bed is about $220 to $250 a day. We currently charge $110. So with APOD renovation, things such as getting the plumbing, getting the flooring, and just a bunch of cosmetic things, getting that side of our detention up and running, we do believe that we can increase our daily rate to about $220, $230 a day. So we will see that in return.
Super. Right quick, Commissioners, if I didn't tell you this was in your email, y'all all have juvenile budget? All right, very good.
How many beds are in the pod that y'all want to remodel?
There's 12 beds in the pod that we're remodeling. We have, currently we have 26 beds, but of those 26, we house 8 of them are long-term. So once we, hoping to get APOD up and running, we'll have 24 beds in our short-term, 26 in our short-term facility, and then an additional 12 in our long-term. So we can increase our short-term and our long-term capacity.
Some of those was inoperable at first, right?
Yes, sir, that APOD is inoperable right now, which is what we're trying to get up and running, hopefully within the next year or so. There is a $110,000 budget that we're asking, and that's to get the security system for APOD renovation so that we can have the monitoring and all of the things that we need to be able to watch the residents as we're supposed to through TJJD standards. We're also asking to get a new vehicle. We have 2 vehicles that are currently not working, that haven't been working for quite some time. So when it's time to transport kids to and from court or doctor's hearings or placement, we're kind of all scattered trying to figure out, well, how are we going to transport this kid here and there? So we're asking for a replacement of our 2 Impalas with a new vehicle. And then we have a $11,000 budget that we're asking for medical and detention. Our detention has lacked the health care as far as nurses or things like that. So with this $11,000, we're asking that we can either equip our JSOs with medical assistance so they're able to administer the medication appropriately to our juveniles. And we've spoken with Captain Haynes with the Sheriff's Department. They have nurses that come in around the clock, and if I'm remembering correctly, it's about $110,000 a year for us to add that medical expense to us. So that's why we're asking to see if we can get this $11,000 to be able to just equip our staff, where we don't have to, outreach and get a medical nurse unless we see a necessity for it. But we still, under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Department, we have a $45 service per service that those nurses would come out and assist if we have anybody need a physical or sick calls or things like that. Those nurses can come out at that point and service our juveniles as well. I think that's all I have.
Super. Any questions?
So it looks like the bulk of y'all's request is repairs and getting the pod back up and usable.
Yes, sir.
And have y'all gotten bids, quotes to,
Brad Thomas with maintenance gave us a $145,000 bid estimate. And we kind of upped it to the $200,000 just in case they run into anything else that needs to be fixed or worked on. And I know Brad Thomas also got our air conditioner unit over there through his budget from this year. So we have the air conditioner and AC and things are working now.
great, so in your APOD that's not working, he's already fixed the air conditioner over there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Very good.
What about your vehicles? You and I visited out there, and I think the vehicles that you're talking about replaced, weren't those sedans that, the Impalas?
Impalas.
Yes, we have 2 Impalas. One is not working at all, and then the other one, we're kind of doing some patchwork on it. We have a van, I think it's a maybe a 12-passenger van that we can carry kids to court. That's what we used to carry kids to court. And then we have a Ford Escape. It's really small. Our kids are a lot bigger. We have a cage in it, so it's kind of a really tight vehicle to put kids in. So we're looking at using that vehicle to do home evals, transport to placement, things like that. And then the vehicle that we're asking for is a bigger vehicle to be able to transport kids to medical appointments and things like that.
Yeah. So you're asking to replace two of the Impalas
With one vehicle.
With one vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Right.
What year model is that thing?
The van, I want to say it's a 22.
We
It's
just bought
pretty
one
new.
in the last budget or two.
We bought it, yeah.
Yep.
What's the cost of, would we get a Impala type vehicle through Enterprise also? Or-
I think so. Do you
We've
know what
spoken
you're-
with,
what you're
I think his name
interested
is Hinton Poindexter.
Yeah.
And he said that he can get us a Ford Explorer. And he
That'd be great.
asked us to budget about 23,000 for that. So I added that, that's added in there as well.
So he's got you down for a purchase. We would probably put that, or you put that under purchase, but I bet it's lease.
Okay.
Where we move that, but we can.
Is the Explorer gonna be large enough though?
Yes, sir. It's larger than our Edge, and it's more roomy in the inside.
Time you put a cage in it, it'd be all right. Escape?
It's an,
And it is very tiny. They have a Ford Escape.
yeah, the Ford Escape is, yes. And then the vehicle that we talked about with Mr. Poindexter was a Explorer. And so that one is more roomy on the inside, and the Escape that she's talking about, we're looking at removing the cage from that, because that'll just be for our probation officers to be able to go to the trainings that they need to go to and conduct home visits.
Very good.
Let me ask a question, and I hate to just say that, but are we not at a stage where they're gonna be starting to roll some of the sheriff's department vehicles back?
Yes.
So would we not look and see what's,
There are those hybrids that are,
oh, that's okay, okay,
Cost a lot to repair.
yep.
okay,
So we'll put a
okay.
lot of money in for.
Make sure that the sheriff's department doesn't try to pawn off one of those hybrids off on you. I'm just teasing.
Well, I just wanna make sure that, that you get a vehicle that fits y'all's needs and
Okay.
not get something just because it's.
Well, I think an Explorer would fit y'all pretty well.
Yes, sir.
Would be nice.
Yeah.
And these folks out there, they really are past due.
Oh, I
When I was out there, one of them would not crank, and the other one, they were carrying jumper cables. So it's time to do something. So y'all just decide
Okay.
what's gonna fit your need. If the Explorer's gonna be it, then
Yes, sir.
Just make sure you get what fits your needs,
make it happen.
Yes, sir.
not what's pushed on you.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, very much.
Thank y'all.
Who is next? Anybody? Were those the ones that I'd mentioned that had coming?
It's a wrap.
Well, that is all for this morning that we have, and we've had a few extras, which is good, so, if we don't have anybody else that wants to come up now, we'll get back, maybe even 15 minutes early, maybe 12:45. We'll try to get back if I can talk some other departments into coming in a little early. That'll give us a few extra minutes. So, we'll
Who we got coming in tonight?
I'm not aware of anybody else, but I'll try to get the word out to the other department heads if they wanna come in and talk to, be here early, be ready to go. All right, we'll recess till 12:45. Thank you all.